Hello, today I'm gonna test clutches or pressure plates, how strong they are, the pressure plate. Because in my Lamborghini project, now with the turbos, it will make more torque. So I need to upgrade the clutch. So I want to modify the clutch for my car. But I don't really know what I'm doing here, so I will do some tests and so I can have some data, and I will do some tests and see how the car is working. Because this one has an e-gear system that is robotically activated. This one, this clutch, it's a normal clutch with discs and pressure plate, but it's no clutch pedal, so it's controlled by the computer. So I need to have a clutch that is not too aggressive, I think, so I can drive it normally, but still should hold a little bit more power. And the clutch disc of the original clutch, it's like it's these ones. It's organic material, and it's yeah, 4 of them, because it's a two disc. And now I have rebuilt, put this material on, rivet on. It's Kevlar type of material. I was looking to different materials. There is sintered material and yeah, some different kind, but I will try this one now. And all of the discs, here is the clutch, or this Kevlar material. Now I can maybe do a mix later on and see what will hold the power and still be smooth and enough for normal driving. So I'm also keeping this original center here with the springs. It's possible to put in a more racy clutch with solid centrums there, but not for now. I will want to drive this normally, but still hold some power here. But then also I need to have a little bit more pressure on this clutch here. And yeah, there is many parameters that makes a clutch, how it's working. It's the friction coefficient of the material and dimensions of it and everything, but I'm not into everything of that. But one thing is the pressure plate. I have modified. This one is the one that was in the car from the beginning here. So I have modified this one for a bit more pressure, and here is the original one. I can show you how to test this pressure when I modified it, and it's also a good thing if you put in another pressure plate in the car, and to see that you have the correct preload, maybe you say, because all clutches have like a step like this. Or not all clutches, but they have a step. Every time you install the clutch, bolt it together, this spring will go down, and you put in a preload in the clutch there. So if you have the correct one, it can make it stronger, actually. So to test this, I had my friend Christian machine this one for me. It's actually just an cylinder with a piston here. The piston is I think 35.5 millimeters in diameter, and it is filled here with hydraulic fluid that goes to a pressure gauge. And the thing with this, if you have this diameter, it makes the reading here 0.10. So we have 100 bar, that's the same as 100 kilos, and 0.10, that makes it 1000 kilos. You see the 100 mark here, that's 1000 kilos. So when we press here with 1000 kilos, it will show 100. To test this, I also have a dial indicator here. It's possible with a normal caliper to measure it as well, and I'll use it in a press here. So I will set it up to show you how to measure the pressure of the plate. Alright, I've now set this up in the press here, and here you can see the tool and the pressure gauge for that one, and the dial indicator here. So let's begin to push this one. I start to compress this one, and The important thing is that you should measure it on the way, not when you're compressing it at the first time. It should be measured when it's on its way back. Now the pressure plate here is getting a little bit compressed, but then when you push the clutch, the release bearing, it will compress even more. And it is, when you return it on the way up, you should take your measurements. So now I can release the pressure here, and now we have 4 millimeters of offset, and we have the pressure here. It is 65 bars, and that's the same as 650 kilos. So then when I test this one, I stop at every 1/10 of millimeters and record what the pressure is and put it into the computer in a normal Excel sheet here. So I can stop. Here we are at 3 millimeters of offset, and we have 60-70, yeah, about 750 kilos. So if we install this clutch with 3 millimeters of offset, we compress it 3 millimeters, then the pressure will hold 750 kilos. Now it goes up, you can see the pressure goes up. So now I have a little bit less offset and the pressure is getting higher here. So there is actually like a sweet spot, or some dimensions of the clutch here when it is as strongest. And many clutches, maybe sometimes if you install like BMW clutch on a other car, Volvo or something like that, and it can slip, even if it should hold more, then the offset could be incorrect. So it's pretty good to check this one. Check the pressure. Here you can see on the, it will hold, is it 960 kilos, so that's the pressure here right now, and it is under a pretty large it's less than 1 millimeters now, and you can see the pressure is dropping off pretty quickly. Okay, we released to 0 and we have 0 pressure. What we can see here is the pressure, and here is the original pressure plate and the one I have now modified. I think I'm gonna test with this one. Hopefully it will not be too hard for the Lamborghini transmission control unit to handle, and hopefully it will hold more power, but we will see. Now I have some data, and then I can test on the car to see how it's working, and then maybe modify it again. And here you can see down in the bottom it is the offset. So mine is 1 millimeter, 2, 3 and 4. So if we install this one with 4 millimeters, I have about 700 kilos of pressure. But if this clutch will getting worn 2 millimeters, it will be almost 1,000 kilos of pressure. Or if I install this with less offset, it will be much higher pressure. So I want to be a little bit in the higher range here, but the thing is, when this will get thinner when it gets worn, the clutch, it will goes out here, and you can see the one thing that when the clutch starts to slips when it's worn, it's because it goes away when the pressure plates gets weaker, and you can see the pressure is dropping off. So yeah, I think I improved this pressure plate a lot. Alright, here is the clutch assembled, and to see this offset, the gap, you can see it there, and that is before it's bolted down. So that's the between the pressure plate and the flywheel. And if you don't have the correct gap, you can sometimes to get it higher pressure, put the shims between there so it gets stronger. I think I take this values now and I will test it on the car and see how it's working and modify it from that. I bet I will have to take this gearbox in and out, maybe, hopefully not that much, but I'm prepared to remove it and modify it again. And the pressure plate, I will not show you right now how I modified it, because maybe it will not work, it will maybe explode or something. But I did it on this old lathe, manual lathe, and with my ESAB TIG welder.